All right, welcome to Apologetics for the Church, another Every Believer Confident podcast. With me today is Jeff Mindler, our research assistant. And we just thought we would do a quick review of the last year of 2025 because so much happened. This year has been a turning point in our ministry from a more small time, 5, 6 events, 7 events a year to really exploding in 2025, not only with numbers of events, but with people involved in the ministry. Pretty soon we'll publish our 2025 annual report, and it will be full of the incredible growth. And in some ways, less happened this year than in previous years, but it's because we were building a foundation for the future. And as of this date, we are mid-December 2025, almost our entire 2026 is booked. Like we're done booking almost. We have maybe 1 or 2 slots open, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But Jeff, let's just review what happened in 2025, going back to winter last year.
Yeah. I think the first thing that comes to mind, and you mentioned this, the building the foundation part. I think one of the most exciting parts about the growth that we've seen in 2025 in the ministry is the team that the Lord has brought with, to the ministry, team of volunteers, our internship growing. And so just the people that the Lord has brought to serve in the ministry, and that has enabled us to do more regular podcasting and, graphic design, social media, like a lot of these things that have enabled us to kind of expand our influence and reach, and just the team members and volunteers that enable all of that to happen. That has really, like you said, set the foundation for the entire year and then looking to the future. So that's the first thing that came to mind was just the growth in our team and how the Lord has been very kind to us and bringing to us very skilled individuals in their individual craft and how that fits into the larger ministry.
It's good. You can go to our website, apologeticsforthechurch.org, and see the team members. Jeff and I feature prominently because we're the 2 main leaders of the ministry, but we have interns, we have social media folks, graphic design artists, audio, video editors, marketing consultants, all people who mostly volunteer their time for the growth of the ministry. And that has allowed us, as you said, to do so much. Maybe you've seen us on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or other platforms. And that is one of the best ways for us to get out our message. And our message as a ministry is not engagement. That is, our goal is not to create viral videos and to engage millions of people. If God does that, that'll be exciting. Our goal is equipping Christians. So we are not as well known as we'd like to be, because we believe that the training we provide really helps people. And Jeff is going to give some testimonies, and I will as well, of people that have told us that your training has changed my life. But the reason that we're not pushing so much for engagement, but rather equipping, is because that is our real goal. We will let the market and let God take care of our engagement and spread that. We'll try to be as wise as we can and learn as much as we can about that. But our goal is to help ordinary Christians gain confidence and skill to engage unbelievers with the gospel. So that has happened. Let's talk about some of the things that we did, that you and I did in 2025. Let's go back to last winter. You began to talk about the team coming together. Last January, I spoke at a men's retreat on apologetics. It was incredibly well received. That was in Lancaster County. February, we had a big event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, so February we had the ethics conference there in Allentown, partnering with Cedar Crest Bible Fellowship Church, which was a great event. We always love going to Cedar Crest because they do such a great job just as a church and event hosting. Love the saints there at Cedar Crest. And so that was a great turnout. Had opportunities for, you did a couple main sessions, and breakout sessions as well, and
Yep.
I was able to do one as well. And then I believe that was the first time that we had Brandon, one of our interns, do a workshop
That's right.
session, if I
Yes.
remember. So that was exciting that it was kind of his first time foray into teaching, and now he's been able to do more workshops after that. But that was the really kind of the first time we launched him to do a workshop at a conference. So
Our internship program is designed to bring young people along, give them training, and then prepare them and equip them to give presentations. And we want to see our ministries multiplied. And even as we talk about 2026, the goal is to take in many more interns, provide them with equipping, and turn them out to equip folks in churches. So if you support our ministry through prayer or financially, this is what you're helping us do, is multiply. And we have some amazing plans for next year as well. So that event at Cedar Crest Bible Fellowship Church in February was an ethics conference. We brought in a couple of experts, Justin Hawkins, who's a Yale PhD and deals in the area of disability and sanctity of life. We brought in Sam Andreatis, whose ministry is focused on gender and sexuality and providing a biblical view on that. And that was well attended. 300 or 400 people came to that event for the day. Let's move further into the year then, into March and April. I'm looking at my calendar to see what happened then. One more event at the very end of February was I spoke at a Christian school in the Philadelphia area, and the to the high school and junior high, and the response was overwhelming. The kids were so interested. I brought some books to give away. I thought a few of them might take the books, and they cleaned me out because they were so interested in it. And the administrator told me that they caught numbers of kids later that day reading the book, reading the older version of my book, Every Believer Confident, instead of doing their homework. So that shows you how amazing that is. And we are planning something again like that in the new year in the Christian schools north of Philadelphia. Also in March, anything else in March, Jeff?
This was either the end of March or beginning of April. I had the opportunity to speak on a panel of various different religious viewpoints.
Oh yeah, tell us about that. At a secular university.
Yeah, local university here in Lancaster. It was myself representing more of a conservative Christian view. They had a progressive Christian, a Jewish, and a Muslim representative. And so that was a great opportunity just to be in that environment, and they all asked us questions, and each representative went through and gave their responses. And so it was a really great opportunity to highlight the gospel of Jesus Christ over and against some of these other positions. And it was a great time. Got to talk with some of the students afterwards as well. But it was just a great opportunity to highlight the uniqueness and exclusivity of Christ over and against some of these other positions. So that was a really great opportunity.
Yeah. And we plan to do some more university engagement in the coming year. Also in April, I was at Bethel Baptist Church in Wellington, Delaware, and gave a whole Sunday morning message on apologetics. And again, the reception was overwhelming. People hungry to receive that kind of training. Also in April, I gave a presentation at the East Regional Evangelical Theological Society meeting on the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche and what he has to say about Christianity and how as Christians we can use that to understand unbelief better. And that was held at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. I think that covers April. What about early summer, Jeff?
Yeah, the main event that comes to my mind for early summer was the pastor's breakfast that we held here in Lancaster, which was I think we sold that out, didn't we?
We did. The 75 pastors came.
It was a fantastic turnout. A lot of hunger and just desire to want to learn more about apologetics and how we can help equip local pastors to defend the faith and equip others to be able to do so as well. So that was a fantastic turnout. Dr. Peter Tegg gave kind of the main charge, and it's always encouraging to hear from Dr. Tegg. And
yes.
so yeah, that was a really encouraging, exciting. Had pastors from not just local Lancaster. There were a few that traveled from
Yeah.
North Philly and Delaware and Maryland,
Yep.
and
York
so
County.
it was very well attended.
And the goal of that breakfast was to build relationships with pastors, to equip them and give them resources. We gave away a lot of resources that day, and also to build a sense of partnership as we launch into in 2026 a number of events happening in Pennsylvania, specifically Lancaster, but even outside this area. And our goal is to partner with churches and get churches to recognize the value of apologetics for the church, to support our ministry, and to help us as we seek to equip their people.
Yeah, and we're coming alongside them and saying, how can we help you
Mm,
to defend the faith? How can we help you to equip those in your church to know what they believe, why they believe it, and to be able to defend it? And so we're coming alongside and partnering, like you said, with these pastors and encouraging them in the work they're doing,
that's
because
right.
the work of a local pastor is so vitally important. And if we can help encourage them to continue forward and to say, how can we help you? I mean, that's what we want to do.
It is. Also, in early May, I attended a conference in Washington, D.C. on the Trinity. This is becoming quickly one of the hottest topics in theology today, is recovering the doctrine of the Trinity, which for many Christians is a nebulous idea. They believe it, but they're really not sure the details and sometimes might articulate it incorrectly. But the doctrine of the Trinity is so important for our witness to Muslims, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, biblical Unitarians, many others, because denying the Trinity changes the doctrine of God.
Yeah.
And so we will, in the coming year, be developing some resources for understanding the Trinity better and doing more podcasts on that, because it's so important as Christians that we recognize our God, the Christian God, is distinct and unique. We do not worship the same God as Mormons and Muslims. We do
Right.
not worship the same God as Unitarians who reject the deity of Christ. So that was a really helpful conference to attend and to learn about, and we'll hear more about that in the coming years. Into June, that was when we had our pastor's breakfast, and it was a tremendous time to minister and to encourage pastors. July was one of the biggest months for a major event. In July, I headed up to Connecticut, in the area where I used to pastor a church, southeastern Connecticut. And we held a conference in Groton, Connecticut, at Groton Bible Chapel, which is one of the largest churches in that whole region. And the excitement was overwhelming, Jeff. Some conferences we go to, there's moderate excitement. This one was off the charts. I sold almost every book I brought. I brought several $1,000s worth of books and sold them all. This was breaking new ground in Connecticut. There's not a lot of knowledge of apologetics up in New England. There's some, but not a lot. And so for a lot of people, this was exciting, learning how they could engage their unbelieving friends and neighbors and family and coworkers. So that was a major event. I have a feeling that we'll be back in Connecticut again in the coming years because that went so well. Somewhere between 300 and 400 people attended that, and there was a lot of excitement for that.
Yeah. One other thing that comes to my mind, this is July, August area. This is something, our intern, Brandon, and I were able to have a good conversation with somebody that he met through his work, who has been saying some things that are not quite biblically true, and starting their own church and everything. And so Brandon and I had the opportunity to meet with this gentleman, and had some good follow-up conversation. And again, one of those encouraging things of, with the internship program, being able to disciple and mentor believers to know what they believe, why they believe it, and to be able to engage others who don't believe. And so the opportunity that Brandon and I had to talk with this gentleman and to really put into practice, like, hey, we've been learning about how to engage unbelievers. Let's do it and see what this looks like. And so that was just an exciting opportunity to talk with this gentleman, and we continue to try to keep that door open and talk with him, and so that's an ongoing conversation and relationship. But that was a highlight from mid to end summer.
That's great. And increasingly, our internship program results in multiple meetings, sometimes every month, getting together, talking, sharing, helping the interns grow, and giving them opportunities to do witnessing or reviewing with them opportunities that they've had to engage unbelievers with the gospel.
Yep.
And our goal in 2026, we'll talk about this, is to multiply that many times over if we can. And our goal then is to get churches to say, here's a person in our church who's tremendously gifted in apologetics. We will support your ministry. Will you take this person, train them up over the next couple of years, and then let them be the resident expert on apologetics for our church? To encourage, to teach, to be the resource. So when members of the church are encountering a difficult situation in a gospel conversation, they can go to that person, not have to call us, but go to the person in their own church and say, help me figure out how best to reach this person. That's our ultimate goal, is to multiply ourselves many times over in churches. Starting in August and September, you and I worked with the college group here at Lancaster Bible College, the Student Evangelistic Fellowship, and they go out every weekend and do street witnessing and service projects. And Jeff and I did some training for them to help them become more effective on the street. And one of our interns, Brock, is one of the student leaders of that group. And so that group is actually flourishing, I believe, growing, because there's much more attention being paid to equipping them.
Yeah, and that is one of the other highlights to mention. We just mentioned Brock, but bringing on a new intern. We were able to, we've had one intern for a little while now, but able to bring on another intern, and stay tuned for the 2026 episode because we'll talk about some of the new developments there. But that was a great encouragement to be able to bring on a new intern, and Brock's connection with the Student Evangelism Fellowship, and literally going out every week and engaging folks in downtown Lancaster with the gospel and putting into practice what we're trying to teach with apologetics and evangelism, and just that natural outlet. I had the opportunity to join them on one Friday evening, and it was just really neat to see them in action and to be able to encourage and support them as I could as well. And man, we need more of that zeal and passion for reaching the lost, and SEF's doing a great job. And so, it's great to be able to partner with them and help encourage them.
Another thing that's been going on all through the year is I've been invited on a number of podcasts and even TV shows through Lighthouse Television, which is in Harrisburg, Philadelphia, and Allentown. So back in September, I was on the TV program One Day Closer, and most recently was on the American Pastors Network radio program doing Stand in the Gap, their radio show, and being interviewed there. So a number of podcasts throughout the year that we've been on to promote the ministry, to promote the books, has been a blessing. Jeff, we come to October, and October was a banner month for the ministry for a number of reasons. Probably the most significant was 7 or 8 churches up in Cortland, New York, got together and sponsored a conference. And for the first time ever, the 4 of us, you and I and our 2 interns, drove up there. We put on a conference entirely by ourselves. Everybody gave workshop sessions, and you and I did main sessions. And once again, the overwhelming response from the churches, the pastors, the people, just such interest in apologetics and a hunger. I have a feeling we'll be back in Cortland again at some point as well, because people are hungry. Churches are hungry. They want to know how to reach the lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a definite highlight for October, is, like you said, being the whole team being able to go do workshop presentations, main sessions, but just to talk with the folks up there in those 7 churches and be able to encourage them and answer their questions and talk individually about, their situations and where the Lord has placed them and the opportunities they have. And like you said, the one focus of our ministry, among others, is the equipping aspect. And those kind of conferences really have that opportunity to equip the saints in those churches to be able to defend and contend for the faith, as Jude talks about.
Yes.
That's what we're about. And so it was just a sweet time up there as an entire team, and being with those people and their hunger for wanting to grow and put this into practice, and not just learn, but to then put it into practice of how do I have those gospel conversations. And you see this in the question and answer times that we do, where people are asking questions about specific situations and how can I respond, how can I engage, and it's a real joy to be able to speak with these folks and to equip them and to encourage them of like, hey, keep going, trust the Lord that he will provide the growth, but keep going. And so those are always great opportunities, great times.
Yeah. One of the things you may or may not know is that area of Cortland in upstate New York is a hotbed of unbelief, of the rise of cults. What cults have come out of upstate New York?
Mormonism, that's probably the most well-known one.
Several others. It's known as the burned over district after the Second Great Awakening. So there's a lot of skepticism, a lot of rampant, hardened atheism, a lot of interest in cults and spiritism. And so the churches up there are in a prime place to reach lost people there. So pray for Cortland for certain. A few more things that took place in October. The Faithful Give was a big fundraising event that we were part of for the first time. We raised almost $10,000, and we have a matching gift of $10,000 that will come in soon. So that was exciting. That has enabled us in the coming year to do so much. Yeah. I was part of a Life Institute pastors luncheon, where again I met a whole bunch of new pastors, and Life Institute deals with stewardship, financial stewardship, and I met some folks there. You were going to say something about the Faithful Give?
Yeah, I think we were blown away by the Lord's kindness with the Faithful Give. This was our first time participating, and just seeing the overwhelming response by people wanting to give, and just a hearty thank you to everyone who gave and supported the ministry. We were blown away by the support. And so it is just a testament to God's goodness and grace. And we cannot say thank you enough. It was amazing.
Yeah. And last thing I think we can cover for 2025, if you want to grab my book there off the top of the shelf right there. No, right.
Well, this one?
No, you're to the left, the Every Believer Confident.
There we go.
So two books came out in 2025, Every Believer Confident, which was republished by P&R, but that came out in January. And it has sold really well. I hear from people all over the country. We're ordering boxes of books for our people, and we're teaching this in our Sunday school. So this has been a great blessing to have this published. And so that's January. December, coming out next week, my new book on talking about worldviews, a conversational introduction to thinking philosophically. So this is an introduction to philosophy in a narrative format. So it's a fictional format. Every chapter, there's a story that builds throughout the book to a crescendo, which ends in gunfire and possible death of a main character. But also in every chapter, there's a section teaching you the basics of philosophy. So we hope that these two books will be a blessing to you if you're able to attain them.
And stay tuned, because we'll be doing a full episode on Mark's new book to find out
exciting
more.
Things.
So
I'll actually read some of what I think is my best writing in that book, some of the exciting moments of that book. But this has just been a report of 2025. We hope if you are a follower of the ministry, supporter of the ministry, this encourages you to realize that we are working hard to equip. Before we go, several other amazing new resources have come out in the coming year. Jeff, you talk while I go off camera.
Yeah, just as Mark was saying, all of what we're reporting on, was made possible by the Lord's grace, His kindness, and your support.
Yeah.
And so it has been amazing to see the investment of our donors, our supporters, people who pray for us, and the work that the Lord has graciously opened so many doors to see. So it's been truly amazing.
It has. Our graphic design and social media and marketing people are amazing. We've also produced this Guiding Gospel Conversations guide, which is free as a download on our website. This is a great little summary of my book. So if you say I'm not a big reader, this is only, I think, a 16-page or so booklet, which summarizes all of that. We also have a bookmark, which is a summary of this. So if you're even less of a reader, we have it at all levels. We have multiple infographics. Jeff has written a handbook, field guide
on gospel question, like asking questions.
Okay.
So it has lots of different questions that if you're in a conversation, how can I guide this towards a gospel conversation? So that's the pocket guide of gospel and apologetic questions.
There you go. So lots of resources. I also updated the study guide that goes with this book. So there's a free study guide on our website if you'd like to use this book in a small group Bible study, Sunday school class, whatever format, just on your own. There's a 40 or so page study guide that goes with that. So our goal, if you're watching this video, is again, just to continue to provide resources and to equip. We'll talk in another video about the plans for 2026, which eclipse what happened in 2025, unbelievably so.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for our next video where we talk about all that's going on. As of this week, we are almost fully booked for 2026. There's not room for any more events, with the exception of 2 that are pending. But otherwise, we are booking into 2027 already. That kind of shows you the hunger for apologetic training. And we can only do all this because of your support. So even if you don't support us financially, would you pray for us every week? That we would be wise in the use of our time and resources, that God would open doors. We have some plans in the future about campus ministry, multiple events that we will host ourselves, just some new format of ideas. And we just covet your prayers. And if God moves on your heart to give, whether it's $25 a month or a larger one-time gift, your support enables us to do so much. So thank you so much. I hope you're encouraged. We're encouraged.
Yeah.
We're blown away by how much God is doing in and through our ministry. And that is our prayer. So thank you. If you enjoyed this video and would like to find more resources on apologetics, go to apologeticsforthechurch.org.